If somebody were to confront you with a knife, do you think that it's fair game to pick up a knife to use in self-defense yourself? Let me know what you think in the comments section below, because if you do think that that's perfectly fine and lawful, we have a bit of a problem, at least in England and Wales. So let me know what you think in the comments, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. But also, I'm going to give you an idea for something that will help you to defend yourself and others a little bit later in this video. So this very issue of a confrontation of knife on knife and self-defense came about in a very recent case where one business student was found to have acted in self-defense, albeit convicted of having a bladed article in a public place without a good reason. So in short, a man turned up at this student's address with a vegetable knife, and the court heard that at some point the student, we'll call him, also had a large kitchen knife. It was found that he acted in self-defense but caused serious and lifelong injuries, needing 5 operations including a stent in an artery, the spleen removed and medication for the rest of his life. Obviously life-changing injuries. And whilst the jury found that he must have acted in self-defense in using that weapon, the jury also found that at some point he chose to take a knife to confront the other man, and at that point did not have a good reason to have that knife. So a jury finding, not just a judge's finding, that having a knife to confront someone else with a knife is not a good reason to have a knife with you in a public place. So this man was then convicted of having a bladed article in a public place without good reason and received a 14-month prison sentence for doing so. And there was also a prior 10-week suspended sentence that was activated at the same time. But the point here is, many people believe that you can take a knife to meet a knife in self-defense, and for some reason that makes it a good reason to have that bladed article. Now, I've very often said on this channel that there are very few actual good reasons to have a knife with you in a public place. There are certain knives that are legal to carry because they come within the exemption of a folding pocket knife, but even then, if you are found, let's say, with a legal folding pocket knife and you're out at 1 or 2 in the morning and you look somewhat suspicious, don't be surprised if the police were to arrest you for having the article with you, because they will infer that you've got it with you with the intention of causing harm with it. But this also answers the question that even though this man was convicted of having a bladed article in a public place without good reason, he was found to have acted in self-defense, even though causing grievous bodily harm, very serious injuries, life-threatening injuries, and certainly injuries with a lifelong impact. Now, many of you that have watched my channel for some time by now will know that I am a strong advocate of self-defense, but proper self-defense, used lawfully, properly, and of course proportionately, so that it gets you into the least possible trouble when you are called upon to use self-defense. And many of you will also know that the black belt in Black Belt Barrister is not just a play on words. I have done martial arts training for a very long time. In fact, we were very grateful to have some of you watching on our recent course in close quarters combat, which includes a lot of self-defense, but also some fun stuff, which included weapons handling, pistol drills, room entries, vehicle extractions, and all sorts of other interesting things. But just to give you a taster, because we have another course coming up in September, which I would love for some of you to join us on, so I'll put the link to sign up for that in the description below. But here's a very small snippet of some of those self-defense techniques that you can learn both from me and from elite forces veterans. So not only will you learn the skills to defend yourself, but you get some legal input from me as well. There are very limited spaces on the course, but take a look at these short clips and then sign up below.
Down there, no way, feel it, it's got to be movement. Because if he's really good, he's trained, he's trying to draw that back. As soon as I move that body, you can't do anything, can you? See what I mean? You're going.
Literally, you're using your hips here to do exactly the same thing, but over your hips. Yep.
If I go down like that, it's got full domination. Yeah, so my feet come straight up, feel it, your balance is going. Yeah. And the next thing I do is I try to get around, but it's locked me down. I watch. From that, I just take that, walk that round, take that round, and off we go. Yeah, easy.
So to get out, I need to weaken his grip here on my body. So the way I'm going to do that is by planting this and this and shoving my hips
to open up his hips here.
Okay.
Yeah?
If his arm's firmly planted here, that's great, because I have to take that down anyway.
When I take him down, he's down, bang! Straight for that degree there, yeah, he's gone. Simple as that. And I reinforce it to move it round to that degree there. Bang! Take him back up.